Hello, welcome to another project on my channel. This is one of my Christmas projects, 12 projects of Christmas. Not sure which number I'm on, but this is one of them. I was inspired to make this from, I was shopping around the dollar spot at Target, and I saw this really lovely tag set. And it had big bows in it and had large tags, and then it had these cute little reindeer tags, which I thought were adorable. And it also had a little bit of baker's twine with it. And so I thought, you know, I could do that, and I thought that would make a really lovely gift for like a hostess gift or a white elephant gift. And I thought that it would look really cute in a little separated box. And so I'm going to show you how to do it. Now, I created all of mine, except for this, I created all of these with the Cricut. If you don't have a Cricut, it would be very easy to recreate, excuse me, to recreate without that. Excuse me. All you need to do is to create these bows. You can, if you don't have, they make these in dies. If you don't have a die and you don't have a Cricut, all you have to do is look up, Google 3D bow templates or bow templates. And what you'll get is something that when you cut it out, it's going to look kind of like this. Like maybe eyeglasses. And you'll probably get something that looks like this, which is the bottom, the back of the bow. And then all you have to do is put them together and it creates a very lovely bow. I just love these bows. They're one of my favorite things to make right now, especially because they're so easy. I used to make them by hand cutting them out, but with my Cricut it's so easy. But anyways, it's possible to do without. And then these tags here, you could easily just cut a rectangle and then cut the corners of the tag. And instead of having the word cut out in the center, you could just stamp the word and emboss it or whatever. And I did cut the word out and then I put pearl paper behind it. The same pearl paper that I made the bows out of. And then if you could find a deer die cut, which I think could be pretty easy to find. Or if you don't have a die cutting machine, you could go for a simpler shape like a star. A star would be really cool, or an ornament, or any other sort of like easy, simple shape that would be easy for you to hand cut. I liked the idea of the deer in it, and I just stamped Merry Wishes on it. And that Merry Wishes is from my Lawn Fawn. Oops. I think it's called Tiny Tags. Let's see. I can't seem to... I had it a minute ago. I can't seem to find it now, but... Oh, here it is. It's on my messy desk. It's from my Tiny Tag sayings from Lawn Fawn. This is one of the few stamps that I saw and I had to have right away. I loved it. And it's perfect. It has little tiny sentiments to go on to little tiny tags like this. Anyways, let's move on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to create a lidded box to put these in that is going to just look gorgeous. Okay? So let's set these aside. Oh, first I should tell you, if you want to create this yourself and you have different size tags or different size stuff that you're putting in it, here's how I found how I decided. So I laid out my stuff kind of how I wanted them in the box. I also put this in there. And I kind of then took a total measurement all the way around, and that gave me how big I wanted to create my box, which for me was 5.5 by 6 3/4. And then I put the stuff in the box and put the dividers in that way. I'll show you as we go. Okay, so let's start out. I'm going to show you how to make the box the way that I'm going to make it, and then you can choose to change or do whatever you want to it. So to start off, you're going to need a piece of paper that is cut to 8.5 by 9 3/4. If you pre-cut it, it's going to be a lot easier. So we're just going to cut this little piece down to 9 3/4. Okay. Because then all we have to do is go around and make the same score mark on every side. So then we're going to get our scoreboard. We're going to put this in here and we're going to score it at 5/8. Whoops. 5/8, excuse me. I think I'm starting to get a little cold, so excuse my sniffles. And then 1.5. Now let me show you something here. If you look on your board here, you're going to see, if you have the same board as I do, which is the Martha Stewart scoreboard, you're going to have some blue dashes and some black dashes. We're going to use the blue dashes. It's going to be the blue dash that is right in between 1/2 and 3/4. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we're going to be 5/8 on that blue dash. Okay? And then 1.5. Then we're going to score it, we're going to turn it around. Score it at 5/8, 1.5. Again, 5/8, 1.5. And one more time, 5/8 and 1.5. So let's set that aside and let's do a little bit more scoring because we're going to need some dividers. So to do that, we're going to we're just working with another 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, and you're going to need 2 of these. So we're going to score it 1/2 inch, and then 1, 2, 3/4, which is 1.5, or no, I'm sorry, 1.25, and then 2, and then 1/2. What that is 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch, 3/4 of an inch, 1/2 inch. Okay, and then let's turn it around and we'll do the same thing. 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch, 3/4 of an inch, 1/2 inch. Okay, easy so far. Well, since we're scoring, we might as well score the lid as well. To do the lid, we're going to score at, I'm going to score it at 5/8. Okay. So we're going to score it at 5/8. Wrong scoring tool. 5/8. And then I'm going to score it again at 5/8. And then this is just from me because I like to work with whole numbers. It's a little bit easier. I'm going to go, no wait, let's just, yeah. I'm going to go to the 1, and I know that my box is 5.5. So I'm going to go over here to the 5.5, which would actually be 6 because I have to, oh no wait. I want to go 5.5 inches from here, which is going to be 6.5. And then I'm going to go over here to the blue one that's just past the 6.5. And I'm going to slide my paper towards, I'm going to slide it this way just a little bit, and I'm going to score there then. Okay. So this score does not have a real measurement. All I did is I'm lining my, here, let's do it this way. Okay. From the 5/8 mark, I'm going to go, well, I like to put it on the 1. I'm moving the score mark to the 1 inch. Okay. Moving it down there to the 1 inch. Let's zoom in just a little bit here so you can see what I'm doing. Okay. So I moved the score mark to the 1 inch right here. Okay. And then I need to go 5.5 inches away from that, which is going to put me at 6.5. So, but then because I'm making my lid, I need it to be slightly bigger. So I'm going to go over to the next dash. From 6.5, I'm just going to go over 1. So from 6.5, I'm going to go over 1 right there. Then I'm going to take my paper, and can you see where it is right now? It lines up right there. I'm going to slide it this way just a little bit. you know, maybe about a half of that spot. So now I'm right in between those two marks, okay? Then I'm going to come all the way back over here to the blue mark. I went to the 6.5, and then I'm right there. And that's how I'm going to score it. That's going to give me just enough space to make it slightly bigger, okay? So what we're going to do then is we're going to do the same exact thing on this side. Now we have our score mark. We're going to bring it to the 1 inch just so that it's easier for me to work with. Okay. Then I'm going to take that, and for this one we need 6 3/4 plus the 1 inch. So I'm going to go down to 7 3/4, which is right there. Then I'm going to slide my score tool over 1. So here's my 7 3/4 right here. I'm going to go over 1 so that I'm right there. Okay. Then I'm going to come back down here to the 1, and I'm going to slide my paper just about that much. Just a hair that way. Okay. Then we come back down here and we're going to score there. Sliding the paper just a little bit makes it not be a full measurement, but it also, it's like a 1/16 because these are 8, so it's like a 1/16, and obviously our scoreboard can't have a 1/16 of an inch, or it'd just be all indents. So that's what we're gonna do. Okay, now we have our lid all done. Let's go back to our box. Let's set all those aside and we'll go back to our box. We'll create the box bottom first. So we're gonna crease all of the outside pieces. Just like that. Then we're going to take our scissors and we're going to cut. I'm going to cut straight up there and straight up there. Then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to just cut that off. And also while I'm here, I'm just going to cut that off. Okay. So now this is what we're left with, okay? I'm showing you the basic way to cut it first, and then I'm going to show you how I do it. Then I'm going to remove that part and that part so that my tab is not full square. Then I'm going to bring my thing out here, and I'm going to remove an angle. Oops, I'm sorry, I forgot that I was still on Zoom. So I removed an angle there, and then I'm going to turn it this way, and I'm going to remove an angle there. Okay, so now that's what it looks like. I hope that I was in camera for that. Okay, let's do this one here. We're going to do the same thing. We'll do it, I'll just do it the same exact way that I just did the other one. So I'm going to cut straight up on here. Okay. Then I'm going to turn it a little bit and I'm going to cut straight up here. And then I'm just going to cut this out straight up on that side. And then cut that out. Okay, and then I'm going to fold that up. And I'm going to cut this at an angle. Just like that. And this at an angle. And then we open this back up and we're going to angle this piece here and this piece there. So now it looks like that. Okay, I'm going to do one more close-up, and I'm going to do this one the way that I would normally do it. Okay, so I'm going to start by, I'm going to cut an angle at this side, and then I'm going to cut up to here straight up, then fold that under, and then I'm going to cut this like that, and then I'm going to cut this angled like that, and then I'm just going to remove that part and that part, and we end like that. Okay, let's zoom back out now and we'll do this one. And again, I'm going to do this one just like I would normally do it. I'm going to cut this part at an angle, And then I'm going to come in here and I'm going to go straight up there. Then I'm going to fold that up again. And I'm going to cut at an angle there. And at an angle there. And then cut that angled. Like so. Trim that out. Okay, so now when you're all done, this is what you have. Okay, now I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to fold these pieces straight up. Crease them inside. And there we go. All right, so now we're going to flip it over and we're going to put our adhesive on the square tabs. Okay, go around and put it on all four. And then we're going to flip it over and we're going to put our adhesive on these parts. On all four pieces. And you definitely want to do it before you start to put your box together because it will be much easier to lay the adhesive down. Okay, so then we're going to pick this up, fold it in, line up our corners, and adhere those down. Again, fold it in, line up your corners, and adhere it down. Line up your corners, match up your edges. Easy so far. Match up your edges like that. There we go. Then we're going to set it down, and we're going to fold these in. Okay, then I like to stand mine up on the end and crease it and adhere at the same time. It helps to make sure that you have a really good crease. And there we go. There is the bottom of our box. Okay, let's set that aside. Let's go ahead and create our lid. So to create our lid, what we need to do first of all is finish cutting. We've already scored where we need to score. So we did this at 5/8, so we need to cut these so that we have 5/8 left. And remember that the 5/8 mark is the mark that's right in between the 1/2 inch and the 3/4 inch. There we go. Now we have that. Now, if you want to create a window, it's best to do that while it's still flat. So that's what I'm going to do. And to do mine, I'm just going to use my trimmer because it helps me get a nice straight line and it makes it look a little bit nicer than when I do it without it. I'm lining up the edge of my paper with the last mark on this side here. That's going to give me a nice even border. And then I'm just going to run my trimmer there all along it. And one more time. And then to create the window for this, you could do any number of things. I was thinking that it would be really fun to put a shaker behind this. Or you could just put an acetate. Or you could do, you could get creative. You could put whatever you wanted. You could put vellum back here. I didn't cut mine enough, I guess. Okay. I just gotta trim it up just a little bit more. You can use your X-Acto knife to do this too. I just think that I do a better job when I use my trimmer because I am not very good with my X-Acto knife. It always gets wonky, even if I use a ruler for some reason. So there we go. Okay, now we're going to create this lid in much the same way that we did our box. So we're going to crease all these first. Also, you might find it easier if you put your acetate, if you're going to do acetate, you might find it easier if you put it in now. If you're going to do, take a page protector, cut it to the size, and then do a shaker inside of here, that would be really cool too. I think I'm just going to use a piece of acetate for mine. So I'm just going to take a piece of acetate that is pre-cut to the size of my window there. And I'm going to go ahead and stick it in there because it's way easier if you do it now rather than doing it later. Okay. We got all that in there. Just going to line this up so that it looks nice. And then, if you want to, you could put a piece of paper over this. I'm just going to leave mine like this because I don't feel like people are going to pick it up and look at the bottom of the box. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave mine. So now that we've got that on there, let's go ahead and start with putting the lid together. You're going to trim your tabs out just like you did before. You want to angle them. It'll make it look nicer. There we go. Turn it around. And there. And there. There we go. Okay. Now, I'm not going to use my acetate for this part because it's very important that these hold because this is the lid. And I'm not folding anything over it, which is why I wasn't concerned with the other one because I was folding it over. So I felt like it would hold good enough. And I'm going to use what might seem like a lot because these tabs are so small. You definitely want to ensure that they have enough adhesive on them to hold them where you want them to be held. All right, so now we remove all of these and we put together our lid. Okay, then to put my lid together, I like to put it onto the bottom of my box and then use my box. I like to bring in the tabs and then so that it's wrapping around the box. Does that make sense? I hope so. Because then that way I'm going to ensure that I'm going to get the fit that I want. So I just bring the tabs around the box, and there we go. So you can see that just sliding the paper over gave us a nice snug fit. And then also, you know, putting it around the box helps too. So there's our lid. What I'm going to do is take the lid off, and I just want to make sure that I put enough pressure on here that these are going to stick down and stay stuck down. And there we have our lid. Okay, so let's set that aside for now, and let's create the pieces for the inside. To do that, we're going to, I'm just going to trim this with scissors because I don't want to get out my trimmer again. Does not matter if this is straight in the least, so I'm going to take advantage of that. Okay, I'm going to fold this in half right in the center, and then crease it, and then I'm going to bring these folds up. Just like that. Okay. Let's do the same thing to this one. We fold it in the center. Crease it well. Bring these up. Bring these up. Just like that. All right. And then, just to make things easier for us, I'm going to go ahead and secure this down. So that part is going to be stuck down. Okay. Might as well do the same thing with this one here. A little bit of adhesive and stick it down. All right. Now, our first piece, our longest piece, is going to be the 5.5 piece. That's the length of the box. So I'm just going to use a ruler here, and I'm going to cut this to 5.5 inches. Okay. Just like that. And then I'm going to make sure that it fits. And it does. And it fits nicely. Okay. So then I'm going to stick this down. A little bit of adhesive on the underside of those. And then I'm going to take the tags because I want them to fit there. And stick them in there like that, and there we go. Try to make sure that it's nice and straight. There we go. Press those in. Perfect. Then we're going to take this piece and we're going to trim it to fit over here. A little bit too big. I like to trim it bigger rather than smaller right off the bat because you can always take more off, but you can't add more to it. And then I'm going to put I'm going to put my bows in here so I know where I want them. And then I know I'm going to put my adhesive on here. And I'm going to slide this up underneath the bows so that it's kind of where I want it. Try to make sure that it's nice and even. And that it's stuck in there really well. Okay. Then I got a place for my bows and I've got a place for my tags. Now we just need a small place for, we just need a little divider for down here. Okay, too big still. Trim a little bit off. Still too big. You want to make sure that it does not, when you're putting it on there, it does not make your box bulge. You don't want your box to bulge out because then your lid won't fit. Okay, so then for this piece, let's just make sure that that fits in there. And it does. Oops, I forgot to put my adhesive on there. And I put it on the wrong side. Okay. There we go. All right. There we go. And then we can take our little, whoops, our little reindeer should fit right in there, and they do. And then our bows and our large tags, and then we stick the lid on, and we have there a beautiful hostess gift or white elephant gift. You could decorate the top of it a little bit if you wanted to. I kind of like that it's plain. I think maybe what I would do is put some ribbon around the corner and then a little bow here and call that good, because I think this is pretty in itself. I hope that you guys enjoyed this, and if I didn't say this, because I've filmed this video now about 4 times, so if I didn't say this in this video, I wanted to let you know that this was very inspired by a box set that I saw at Target. It was almost the same thing. It was bows and tags, and then they also had the reindeer tags up there, which is really, it was very pretty. They did theirs, it was in silver, the one I saw, a silver one. And I only saw one left at my Target too, so that's another reason why I decided that I would make my own. But anyways, I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that if you have any questions, you will email me. And I will be making a bunch more of these to hand out to my neighbors and to my... I will be using this as my neighbor gift, I think, because it's quite pretty. Oh, I forgot one little step. To help it look a little bit nicer, because you can see your seams there, I wanted to put a little piece of paper in the bottom of each of these. So that's what I will do. But you've already seen the project, so I'm going to leave you with this, and I hope that you guys have a great day and enjoyed this project. Bye-bye now.